Hallo, willkommen zurück bei The Zodiac Trial. Im letzten Part hat Snake einen neuen Plan ausgetüftelt, um Horse aufzuhalten, aber der ist leider nach hinten losgegangen und Snake ist dabei leider verstorben. Danach hat unser Team sich ein bisschen in die Haare bekommen und 4 unserer Leute, Ox, Monkey, Rooster und Pig, haben sich entschieden, oder gesagt 3 von denen, Monkey, Rooster und Pig, haben sich entschieden, sich zu verstecken und Ox ist ihnen gefolgt, um sie vom Gegenteil zu überzeugen. In der Zwischenzeit haben Tiger, Bunny, Sheep und ich einen weiteren Plan gemacht, Horse aufzuhalten, der darum besteht, dass Tiger ihn herausfordern wird. Tiger wird ihn herausfordern in einem ehrenhaften 1 gegen 1 und dabei wird Bunny ihn von denen erschießen. Und in der Zwischenzeit werden Sheep und ich, also Sheep und Maus, im Computerraum warten. Toller Plan, ne? Ja, ich sehe da keine guten Karten von uns. Ich sehe keine gute Zukunft.
It would be a stretch to say I was feeling good about this. In truth, I was feeling very, very bad about this. But what else were we going to do? This was a plan now. We'll head it over to the computer lab to wait and watch.
Not much else to do after all.
Do you think this will work? I feel like I've asked and answered this so many times now. At this point, it better work. That's not a very confidence-inspiring answer.
Inspire your own confidence.
How?
If I told you, then it wouldn't be you doing it inspiring, now would it?
She became silent. I felt a little bad about getting snippy with her, but not that bad. There were a lot of other things I was feeling worse about. Eventually, I heard noises. I leaned out to sneak a peek at what was happening, and sure enough, Horse was there. And by the look of things, he had indeed been lured into a one-on-one fight. His weapons were thrown to the floor, and his skull mask was on.
You sure you want to do it like this? It'll be a lot of fun for me, a lot of pain for you.
Ha! More like be one the other way around, with you being the one who gets pain. Let's do this! Tiger started charging at Horse, but Horse slipped over to the side and toppled the nearby trophy closet. He sent it crashing down, blocking the closet door. Blocking the closet door Bunny was hiding in? Why? How? How the F? Huh?
What's wrong? Nervous that your friend isn't going to be able to give you backup now? It was you who made this one was one, right?
There's no way. How could you have known that that was our plan?
Easy. I could hear him breathing.
What? You heard him breathing?
My ears are very finely attuned. Although I was listening to it in for it. After all, at this point, I didn't bite for a minute that you didn't have something up your sleeve. Should have laid your trap better. No, there's no way he's gonna be able to end the fight that easily.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I once again rushed at Horse, for one catching him by surprise. She pinned him against the blocked-off door, holding both his arms down to each side of the wall. Now, Bunny, fire through the door!
It must have taken Bunny a second to realize what she meant by this, because there was a pause before bullets started weaving through. Horse, however, realized what this meant instantly, and made to escape by headbutting Tiger and rushing away. In the past, this sort of evasive tactic would have resulted in Horse making a clean escape, right before he would turn around and kill his attackers. Not this time.
Yeah! Horse was hit in the side by the very first bullet. It wasn't anything crucial, but it clearly weakened him. As Horse gripped aside, Tiger grabbed one onto the trophy case blocking the door and shoved it aside. The sound of the heavy closet moving away was enough to know for Bunny that they could now kick the door open. Finish him! Die, you fuck! Bunny started firing both pistols at Horse. Before the first bullet was shot, Horse had already leaped up and Bunny. The bulky man somewhat jumped with the height of a gymnast, yet even he wasn't able to fully get out of the way of the barrage. 2 bullets hit his left leg, blood splattered onto the ground. In Horse's mind, this might have been a small price to pay. After all, with a jump he was able to get right up to Bunny. In a clean sweep, he grabbed onto both of Bunny's hands. He squeezed so hard I could hear bones breaking from down the hall. Bunny cried out in pain and dropped both pistols. Horse swung the smaller man like he was nothing more than a prop, tossing him down the hall. Bunny limply skidded across the hallway. Horse looked as though he meant to finish Bunny off, but Tiger wasn't having it. She kicked right at Horse's head. Again, normally Horse should have been able to dodge that sort of strike, but instead the blow suddenly landed with a nasty thunk. I wasn't sure if Tiger was particularly speedy, matching Horse's reflexes, or if Horse was simply starting to feel fatigue. Either way, the attack on Horse did nothing but make him an enraged punching machine. Left hook, left straight, right straight. Horse unleashed a barrage of powerful fists at Tiger, each punch powerful enough to crack stone. But Tiger kept pacing, blocking and dodging each and every one, and while Tiger was being pushed back, Bunny was starting to recover. He slowly got to his feet, reached down and picked up one of the pistols. He tried to aim at Horse, but the two combatants were fighting too fast and Tiger was scrawly in the way. What's the matter, Bunny?
What's the matter, Bunny? Why not shoot me? Oh wait, you can't. I forgot.
Oh yeah? With that, Bunny aimed his gun and he shot right through a Tiger.
He shot her right to the stomach.
What the hell? But in theory, this might have been a worthy sacrifice. Horse's side was blocked by Tiger, so he shouldn't have been able to see the oncoming bullet. And yet, somehow, when the bullet came barreling through Tiger's chest, it did not hit Horse, but rather the dagger he held in front of him. The fuck? Sure, the flat side of the dagger was rather wide, but still, to use something that small to block a bullet you couldn't even see coming? Then, Horse wound up his arms, like it was a pitcher. Right as Tiger fell to one knee from the bullet wound, he let his dagger fly towards right at Bunny. It struck him right in the throat, and immediately Bunny started to clutch at his neck and painfully choke. Tiger, to her credit, refused to go down from the one bullet wound. But as she determinedly stayed on one knee, trying to get up, Horse put his hands together and struck down with killing intent. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, though I had seen it 20 times.
Ernsthaft? Wir verlieren schon wieder? Nach so einem guten Move? Was ist das für ein Typ?
Under impossible circumstances, Horse still managed to turn the tables and kill his attackers. He couldn't be beat. He was unstoppable. He was inevitable. He could do nothing. Would not. He could do nothing. Would do nothing. Expect kill. He'd murdered each and every last one of us. We were going to die. There was nothing we could do. Death was inevitable. Mouse, snap out of it! Sheep tugged hard at my sleeves, trying to stop me from just blankly staring at this carnage. We've got to run and get out of here before Horse finishes with that. Again? What's the point? Mouse, I don't have time for this.
Oh, wow.
She closed her eyes and raised her hand. It shook in the air, and then it came right in my face. Sheep, in a moment of desperation, slapped me. Sorry, I know I'm horrible, I just... No, I needed that. You're right. Let's get out of here. My heart was still at the bottom of my stomach, but wallowing in that world would certainly lead to death. Running still might not. In this race, I was the mouse. No, I was the rat. And I would survive by fleeing like the one. That's all I could do. We made our way to a different section of the floor and hid ourselves in the chemistry lab. There, we caught our breath. How? It was perfect! We totally had him, and even still he just didn't die. He really is incredible. He really is horrifying. I don't know what on earth could stop the beast. I don't even think he's human. Well, let's try and stay on the bright side. What bright side? Tiger and Sheep just got murdered.
Sheep is here. Bunny. Tiger and Bunny just got murdered. There's no bright side to this.
I think there's some good things to take from this. Nothing that makes up for the death, of course. But well, their sacrifices weren't for nothing. He was shot in the side and twice in the leg. I know it didn't look like it there, but that has to slow him down.
Like you said, it didn't look like that there.
That's because he was running on pure adrenaline. Once he comes down, the pain of that one has to kick in. And it's not like there are any medical supplies around here, so the most he could do is bandage it up.
So maybe he has to limp now.
So what? It's not just the bullets. Tiger sparred with him for a while there. Horse was really starting to sweat. He was getting tired.
Not so tired that he couldn't throw a knife into a human body.
True, but again, that was the adrenaline. Think about it. At this point, Horse has been in 4 separate fights. He had to act fast to get the jump on dog. He sparred with Dragon for a while. That definitely took some strength. He moved the vending machine and fought attrition war to kill Snake. And against Bunny and Tiger, he took some serious damage and spent a ton of energy. He might be really strong, but he's still a human. Humanity has its limits. He might be doing a bunch of seemingly impossible things, but most of that is probably due to the stress of or danger of the situation bringing his muscles into hyperdrive. But that comes with a cost. Your brain has a limited amount it can handle before things start going south. So you're saying he's almost out of juice? He has to be, right? Horst hasn't been able to eat or drink properly in a while, and yesterday he was electrocuted and tied up for a long time. His body must be incredibly sore. There's no way he's in a good condition. If my math is right, that in a moment he just needs one more kill to get across the finish line. It'd all be for nothing if he was overwhelmed right now. So at the moment, he's probably not looking for us. Instead, he's resting up. Exactly, and also, I have this. Sheep handed to me the broken taser Dragon had shot before. This is the taser from before, right? I found it on the second floor, and I thought maybe it could be of some use. When Tiger and Rabbit were fighting him off, I tried my best to fix it. That did not go too well, but I think it's sort of having it work again. If I'm right, it'll fire once before I need to refix it. But it still shoot out as it'll still shoot out as kind of short distance web. I couldn't fix that. Even so, this is great work, Sheep. With this, we actually have something to fight with. Exactly. I mean, it won't kill him, but if we hunt him down now when he's weak, manage to stun him, maybe get a dagger from him, and we might just be able to win. You're right, Sheep. We can totally do this. Not just for us, but for Pig and Monkey and Ox and Rooster. We'll find him, and we'll end this. Let's go.
It was at that moment that Horst walked into the chemistry lab, not wearing a skull mask or carrying any weaponry. You'll find me, is it?
Horse! Monster! Piece of shit bastard! Scum!
Easy with that. I get that you're upset with me, but name calling is just petty.
You know what not petty? Tiger and Bunny's lives. Dragon's lives. But you seem to think those are petty. You must. Or else why would you kill them? So I guess you're just not a very good judge of pettiness.
I placed a great amount of significance in their death, as I will with yours.
You monster. I hope you rot in hell for this.
And I hope you may rest in heaven.
So what happens now?
With Tiger's death, everyone who I consider a threat is now dead. Killing the rest of you should be easy. Please, just surrender, and let me give you a quick and painless exit.
That's it, huh? You're just gonna calmly walk in here and murder us?
If that's how you want it to be, then yes.
If you want to be accommodating, do you mind telling us why you decide to do all of this?
It's not an answer that would satisfy you.
Alright, then what about this? What's the deal with that skull mask of yours? Why do you go berserk when you wear it, huh?
The mask, yes. I suppose I owe you that much. Very well then. Let me tell you my story.
Oh goody. Can't wait to hear about this.
I sense sarcasm.
Oh no, not at all.
I was raised in a pretty bad part of Hightower. Lots of ruffians, lots of gangs, troublemakers and the like. Which was pretty inconvenient because my father was incredibly morally upright. He had firm convictions of what was right and what was wrong. He instructed me to follow those teachings to the letter. He ranted on about how I couldn't stray from the noble path. How imperative it was that I be a good upstanding son. He talked about the dichotomy of people in this world, and how after we die, the virtuous will be saved and the sinful will be punished. And I obeyed him, not because I was afraid of punishment or anything, but because I believe what he said. I still believe genuinely. So that defined my early childhood. I was the model student. I would never cheat, never lie, and never cover for anyone. And that, of course, led to incessant bullying from my class. But I could tolerate it all fine, because I knew I was right. Eventually I started making some friends. They were, as my dad would put it, a bunch of troubled youth. But they were friendly with me, and at that time in my life, that was really all it took. Slowly but surely, they started convincing me to hang out with them after hours to have some real fun. I told them again and again, no way, nothing good could come of it. And besides, if my dad ever found out, it'd be gone forever. But I kept on insisting, if I want to keep being their friend, I have to go out and have some fun with them. Eventually, one of them offered me the skull mask. He said I should wear it. That way, no one would ever be able to recognize me, and I wouldn't get in trouble. Even back then, I physically stood out, but they convinced me that with a hoodie and in the dark of night, no one would find out. When they presented me the mask, I caved. I snarled at night and got in some real trouble. I was racked with the guilt, so I convinced myself that wasn't me. That was someone else. That was the Night Devil. We just happened to share the body. That was how I justified it to myself. And the next night, I did the same thing. Then I justified it the same way. When I was wearing the skull mask out at night, I wasn't sitting. The Night Devil was. And the Night Devil was really having fun. Finally able to pen out his frustration and run wild. I could control when I lost control. I guess after a while, I started to really buy into this dichotomy. I remained my father's model son. I never lied, never cheated, never got into fights, never smoked, never drank. But the Night Devil, oh, he was a real party animal. He would do all of the things that I couldn't. But of course, I wasn't doing them. That wasn't me. That was him. As time passed, the Night Devil became something of a figure. He wasn't being led around by his friends anymore. He was leading them. They adopted the skull mask and started to mock their turf. The Night Devil would get into lots of fights with other hoodlums, other gangs, all the while under the moon's disguise. The Night Devil got really good at fighting too. So much so he gained a bit of a reputation. My father would eventually learn the secret of the Night Devil, but not until I had already gone to college. I still haven't gone back home. I don't even know if he'd let me, anyway. As I stayed at somewhat local college, I started to think that enough was enough. The Night Devil had his fun, but he wasn't welcome anymore. I stuck to the straight and narrow for a while. Got my education, found a job at a construction company that I still work at to this day. Eventually, however, I had started to bore of the tedium of life. I was content with a simple life, but something felt missing. It was only one night. I only let him roam the streets for one night. But what happened that night? He went to a bar, got pretty drunk, got into an argument with another man who also happened to be pretty drunk, and took it outside. The Night Devil only shoved him, and yet luck was not with that man on that night. The curb hit his head, and he died. I didn't kill him. The Night Devil did. And he was the true monster. I had led him around on the world. After that night, I vowed to never let him run free again. And since it was my fault for letting him out, I obsessively followed the story around his death. I was sure at any moment the police would come knocking down my door, there to arrest me for his crimes. But I was lucky. They never found any evidence linking me to the death. They never even had enough to pin it down as a homicide. I thought that was simply dead for a time. However, since I was following his death, I learned of one other tragic fact. He had a young daughter. Much worse, he was a single father, with no close relative. The girl wasn't transferred to an open orphanage. It must have been such a sad time for her. I felt a responsibility to her. I thought about adopting her at the time, but it felt like too cruel an irony. A father's murderer adopts his only daughter. What a horrible man that must be. No, Better to let sleeping dogs lie. But time passed, and she wasn't being adopted. It wasn't a good orphanage either. I used to have friends who lived there, and they tell me horror stories. Since the night devil had killed the poor man, wasn't it my responsibility to at least make sure his daughter can live a good life? I felt the only way to atone for my sins, and so she became my daughter. And ever since that night, I've kept the night devil mask locked in a box deep in the attic, and with it all memories associated with it. And yet, through some cruel irony, when I awoke, I had his mask on, under the horse mask. Clearly Brian had done his research. I didn't plan on ever using this mask to let him out, but, well, once the hunt began, I knew who needed to do the killing.
You're crazy.
That would be a fair assumption.
But hearing the story, I don't think the night devil killed anyone. It was an accident, right?
What difference does the intention make?
What will your daughter think when she finds out about what you've done?
She won't find out.
Oh, she will. And let me guess, you never told her that you were the one who killed her daddy either, huh?
Of course I haven't. I wasn't the one who killed him.
Huh, you're pathetic.
That I am. But the least I could do is finish my job.
You mean? He means he's still going to kill us, in case we forgot.
Any last words?
You don't have to do this! Please, I know this isn't really you. You wouldn't mercilessly kill two girls just begging for their lives, would you? You told me you protect me. You said everything would be fine. You want to be good, right? To atone? Is this really how you plan to do it? Stop this, please. Stop this. I don't want to die. Please. Please spare me. Save me. Horse stood over Sheep, and yet he had stopped in his track. Sheep had curled into a ball, crying non-stop, utterly powerless and pathetic. It should have been an easy kill, and yet Horse picked Sheep up by a collar, walked over the door, opened it, then threw her out. He then yanked the handle to the left so hard that the wood around it splintered. He gave it a testing shove, and just as intended, the door could no longer be opened or closed.
You stay out of this, for now anyways. First, I've got this one to deal with.
Oh nein!
Horse turned over to stare me down. I can guess how this is going to go.
Nothing personal.
The room's lights were off and the curtains were lowered. The room was dark, and my opponent lumbered tall and strong. There were no escape. This was it. Things were so tense that I looked back around to begin calm. It's to be expected that I die here, right? In that case, might as well accept it. I'm probably going to die, so let's just see what I can do. No pressure. I'm ready when you are.
Ready? Don't tell me you're actually going to try and fight me.
Sort of.
It'd be simpler if you didn't.
And I bet you like it when things are simple, huh?
You like it too? After all, simple deaths are the least painful.
Actually, not dying death are the least painful.
There's no such thing as a not dying death.
I know, I was being poetic. To turn your phrase back around on you.
Didn't work.
Are you going to come after me or what?
Fine.
Horse started to make his way towards me. Oh shit. I didn't think this far ahead. I saw him swing his fist, but I ducked under it and started running away.
Running away? Where to?
Away from you!
How long would it last you?
Who knows?
This could get annoying.
Instead of chasing me down, Horse started to pick up a desk. Was he going to throw it at me? I realized I still had the taser on me Sheep gave me. I only had one shot, but when was a better time than this? The shot came out widespread and unfocused, but enough of it hit Horse to make him drop the desk and shout out. Yes! This was my chance. I went up to him and started punching him in the chest. I didn't take long to realize this wasn't doing anything. Horse, more than it didn't hurt, spread away at me with his other hand. I wasn't able to make out and make it out of the way time, so he sent me crashing into the nearby table.
Ow. Why did you have to go and do that?
Once again, Horace started to approach me. This time, however, I didn't see a clear place to run away to. I need to get him to stop, to catch him off guard.
Oh. Oh! Okay, okay. Das ist spaßig. Das, okay. Okay, ich habe eine Idee. Okay. Aber im nächsten Part erst. Denn, ja, das ist spannend, Ich liebe solche Sachen, wo verschiedene Endings kommen. Okay. Wir werden sehen. Ich werde erstmal das machen, was ich denke, was richtig ist. Und dann die falschen versuchen. Aber erst im nächsten Part. Ich muss sagen, ich mochte die Backstory gerne. Und ich mochte die Art, wie Sheep mit ihm geredet hat. Ich glaube, Horace hat ein wenig von seiner Tochter, seiner jetzigen Tochter, seiner Adoptivtochter in Sheep gesehen. Weil sie halt ängstlich, sie war schwach, sie war hilflos. Und so war halt die Tochter auch, als der Vater verstorben ist. Und deswegen hat er Mitleid mit ihr. Er hat sie in ihr gesehen. Das war schön. Aber Horace muss trotzdem sterben, tut mir leid. Die Tochter, ich glaube, es ist besser, wenn sie keinen Mörder als Vater hat. Einen 6-fachen Mörder gefühlt. Von daher, vielleicht ist es besser so. Aber wir werden sehen im nächsten Part. Seid dabei, wenn ich einen dieser 3 wunderschönen Optionen auswähle. Ich danke fürs Zugucken und dann bis nächsten Mal bei The Zodiac Trial. Tschüss!